Most ESP32 projects use only a fraction of what this tiny chip can do. In this video, I'll show you 10 hidden hardware features that can make your projects faster, smarter, and more reliable. One important thing before we begin. The ESP32 is now a complete family of chips. Features can differ between the original ESP32 and other variants. I've uploaded example code for all features. You can find the complete GitHub repository through the link in the description. Now, let's begin. Feature number 1 is the RMT peripheral. Have you ever seen addressable LEDs flicker or an infrared remote work only sometimes? These signals need very accurate timing, but if you control every pulse using normal code, Wi-Fi and other background tasks can interrupt it. The ESP32 solves this with a hardware feature called RMT, or Remote Control Transceiver. Think of it as a tiny timing machine. You give it a pulse pattern, and it sends or measures the signal accurately without keeping the main processor busy. RMT is useful for addressable LEDs, infrared remotes, pulse sensors, and custom communication signals. Feature number 2 is the hardware pulse counter, called PCNT. Sensors such as flow meters, rotary encoders, and motor speed sensors generate pulses that must be counted accurately. You can count them using software interrupts, but if the processor is busy with Wi-Fi, displays, or other tasks, some pulses may be missed. PCNT solves this by counting pulses directly in hardware while the main processor continues working. It can count up or down, and also filter very short, unwanted pulses caused by electrical noise. This makes PCNT useful for flow meters, encoders, tachometers, energy meters, and production counters. Feature number 3 is MCPWM, or Motor Control PWM. Normal PWM is fine for changing the speed of a small fan, but advanced motor circuits need more control. In an H-bridge, the high-side and low-side MOSFETs must never turn on at the same time. If they overlap for even a moment, they create a direct path between power and ground. This is called shoot-through, and it can destroy the MOSFETs. MCPWM helps prevent this by generating complementary signals and inserting a tiny safety delay called dead time directly in hardware. It can also synchronize multiple outputs and react to fault signals, such as overcurrent. This makes it useful for robots, inverters, brushless motors, H-bridges, and other high-power motor control projects. Feature number 4 is the Event Task Matrix, or ETM. Normally, when one peripheral needs to trigger another, the CPU receives an interrupt and then sends the next command. ETM creates a direct hardware link between peripheral events and actions without waiting for the CPU. For example, a timer event can trigger an ADC measurement, or a GPIO signal can start another peripheral immediately. This reduces delay, saves CPU time, and provides extremely precise synchronization. However, ETM is not available on the original ESP32. It is found only on selected newer chips, including ESP32C6, H2, P4, and some newer variants. ETM is useful for fast measurements, synchronized signals, motor control, and other time-critical projects. Feature number 5 is TWAI, the ESP32's built-in controller for CAN-style communication. On supported ESP32 models, TWAI allows the chip to communicate using the same type of reliable network commonly found in cars, industrial machines, battery systems, robots, and solar equipment. TWAI handles important tasks such as message arbitration, error detection, and retransmission directly in hardware. However, the ESP32 contains only the CAN controller. You still need an external CAN transceiver to connect it to the physical bus wires. With the correct transceiver and wiring, your ESP32 can communicate with motor controllers, battery management systems, and other industrial CAN devices. Feature number 6 is UART Wake-Up. Imagine an ESP32 connected to a GPS module, RFID reader, serial sensor, or another microcontroller. Instead of staying awake while waiting for data, supported ESP32 models can enter light sleep and wake automatically when activity appears on the UART receive pin. This saves power and may remove the need for a separate wake-up wire. However, waking from light sleep takes a little time, so the character that triggers the wake-up may not be received. The simple solution is to send a dummy byte first to wake the ESP32 and then send the actual data packet. This is useful for battery-powered terminals, trackers, access control systems, and sensor hubs. Feature number 7 is hardware PWM fading. Normally, to fade an LED smoothly, your code must keep changing the PWM value step by step. The ESP32's LEDC peripheral can do this automatically in hardware. You simply set the target brightness and fade time, and the ESP32 gradually changes the output while the main processor continues handling Wi-Fi, sensors, or displays. This is useful for status LEDs, display backlights, notification lights, and decorative effects. It makes transitions smoother and keeps your main code simpler. Feature number 8 is real wired Ethernet. Wi-Fi is convenient, but it can become unreliable inside metal enclosures, near motors, or in crowded wireless environments. The original ESP32 includes a built-in Ethernet MAC controller. With an external PHY chip, such as the LAN 8720, plus the required connector and magnetics, it can connect directly to a wired network. This is useful for automation systems, local web servers, security panels, and industrial projects that need a stable connection. Not every ESP32 model supports the same Ethernet hardware, so always check your exact chip. Feature number 9 is hardware security. If someone gets physical access to your ESP32, they may try to copy the firmware, modify it, or install unauthorized code. The ESP32 helps protect against this using flash encryption, secure boot, and eFuses. Flash encryption protects the code stored in external flash, while secure boot checks that the firmware is genuine before running it. eFuses can store permanent security settings and cryptographic keys inside the chip. But use them carefully because some eFuse changes cannot be reversed and may disable debugging or firmware recovery. Feature number 10 combines FreeRTOS tasks with hardware watchdogs. On supported dual-core ESP32 models, FreeRTOS lets you separate jobs into independent tasks and even run them on different processor cores. For example, one task can handle Wi-Fi while another controls a motor or updates sensors. This prevents one slow operation from delaying the entire project. But what happens if one of those tasks freezes or stops responding? That is where the watchdog helps. A watchdog can detect that the task is no longer responding and report the problem or reset the device, depending on how it is configured. This is especially useful for remote systems where no one is available to press the reset button. Together, FreeRTOS and Watchdogs can make complex ESP32 projects more responsive and reliable. I've uploaded example code for all features, along with wiring details and supported ESP32 models. You can find the complete GitHub repository through the link in the description. If this video helped you discover a new side of the ESP32, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.